Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Waiting for you people to join. In today's class, we are going to talk about discuss few question papers regarding sentence correction. To talk about sentence correction, you need to first understand how a sentence is formed. A sentence is nothing more than collection of words. For example, I can use any subject here to begin my sentence with. Let's go with Tom is playing with his friends. So, any statement given can have a meaning. So, the meaning is defined by the tense, the grammar, preposition, articles, basically parts of speech to convey some message. So, basically, we have four types of sentence. The first type is commonly known as facts or statements. So, what about this facts? It provides you any information. Statements like you would have heard sun rise in the east, honesty is the best policy. Those kind of things are called statements of fact. You can get some information out of these sentences. It just gives you some info. The second type is WH type. So basically known as, you know, the common WH words, right? What, when, where, why, how, whose, whom. These are questioning words used in front of a subject. It is to make sense, we are going to use any supportive verbs. What do you think you are doing? So you need some supporting words to make meaning. This is the first way to ask question. So the second is questioning. So there are different ways to ask. The commonly known as WH question types. There are another way to ask question using auxiliary verbs where you get only yes or no answers. For example, are you okay? Is it all right? These kind of words. Here we are going to use a auxiliary supporting verb in the beginning to frame the question. The last way to ask a question is question tags. So what we are going to give was, first we are going to give a statement followed by a question tag. Are you okay? We can use question tag like you are okay. Aren't you? So when I negate the sentence, this is called question tag. If the beginning of the sentence contains positive, it will be followed by a negative. These are called question tags. The third type is called exclamation. So these are words that give you some kind of expression. For example, wow, ah, oh my god, hooray. These kind of words, it does not have a particular meaning, but it expresses about feelings. Wow is always used for excitement. Ah, when you sound it, when you hurt your feet or something, you will make a sound. Oh my god can be used for positive things as well as negative things. Oh my god, why did it happen to you? Oh my god, congratulations. So these kind of words. Hooray, encouragement, success. The last type, anybody knows what is the last type? Okay, we'll come back to the last type. If anybody is there, please answer. So these are the basic outline about sentence correction. So it is not exactly correction, it is a sentence. To talk more about questioning statements, let's say the commonly asked question, what are you doing? This can be rephrased into what you are doing. It has two different meanings. This is what do you do? As simple as that. But when I bring the subject forward, swap places with the verb, it is going to talk about some implication. So where we are going to use question, where we are going to assume things. Basically, you need to know all this. So yesterday we were finding errors, right? So when you find that error, if you correct it, it becomes sentence correction. So what are the common error that can occur in a sentence? First one, always parts of speech like noun, verb, adverb, pronoun, adjective, preposition, conjunction, these kind of errors, interjunction. Then it can be based on subject verb agreement, whether the given subject is singular and the verb is singular, whether the subject is plural and the verb we are going to use is plural, what kind of connectors are used, what kind of pronoun they used. It depends only on that. So the third, voice and speech, active voice, passive voice, direct speech, indirect speech. This revolves around your first person, second person, third person, how many person you are going to tell the story. If person A tells it to B, how B is going to say it to C, the same information. These are all active and passive voices you need to know about. Again, degrees of comparison. So these are common errors that can occur in a sentence. You can also check for your punctuations, word forms. So for today we are going to start with our first question. Let's start with some simple question so that you can understand how to differentiate a error, what are common errors that can occur, and how can I easily find it. So your first question is, Moll's review served as a welcome encouragement to the author. Hardy set to work with renewed vigor and finished the serial ahead of time. So here there are two persons, Molly and Hardy. So sentence correction will be asked in this format, where you have to replace the underlined error, or you have to check whether the underlined part in the sentence contains any error. So here review served as a welcome encouragement to the author Hardy. It is underlined. So your options are A, B, C, D. It is given. How can we replace option A or B or C or D for the underlined part in the sentence? If you know how to select, we can always go for the simplest option, process of elimination. So which you think is definitely an error, which won't suit this. Once you eliminate those options, you can check. First, read the sentence to understand the meaning. When you understand the meaning, check for the tense, whether everything is in past, everything is in future, everything is in present, is there any conditional statements given in the question. So check the tense, then check the number of subjects, what are the verbs used, verb form, is it correct? You have to check all that. Then you have to take what are the connecting words, article, singular, plural, again SVA. Once you have completed that, then you can check articles, preposition. So these are common areas where an error can occur, and most probably they will give you certain words to find or make a mistake and think this is how you should correct. So don't assume. Please compare each sentence and find the meaning. If you look at option 1, 2, 3, 4, three options contain Hardy, comma, and the author. So now you have to talk about the punctuations. So where full stop is used, anybody can say, it will be at the end of the sentence. When someone writing a sentence keeps a full stops, it means they are not going to talk about it any further. So in the first sentence, you have given a punctuation. You have given a punctuation, colon. So where we can use colon, where we can use comma. For example, let's assume full stop. We have already seen, even in the question you can see at the last they have kept a full stop to end the sentence. So let's assume where we can use this comma. When I'm going to talk about few things, for example, here's tall, comma, good looking, comma, and so on. If you are going to see, write few other things, you can notice comma is used here to differentiate multiple attributes. It is used as a separation between two things. So when I'm writing two sentences, you can also use comma. For example, they are talkative, comma, they are even more if they go out. So here both the sentence, in this sentence, after comma we can consider each part as a separate clause. If it depends on the following, it can be called independent. If they are not, if they depend, it is called dependent clause. If they are have separate meaning, they are called independent. Here we are talking about the subject they. Even after comma we are using they are. So we have full detail. So comma is used for separating clauses or features. So where we can use colon. Here Arthur colon Hardy is given. It is used most commonly if you have seen whenever you write some headings, let's say heading 1 colon. Have you seen this? It is equal to. The meaning will be equal to. So now please say what can be the correct option here? What can be the correct punctuation? Can anybody answer in the chat? We also have semicolons, we also have exclamation, question mark, comma, full stop. We have so many punctuations, right? So this is used to talk about expressions. This is used to question. This is used as a equal to. This is used at the end of a sentence. Let's say programmers, I think, no, they use it to terminate sentences. But here when author wants to say something more, he expressed himself in the first line. He can close this, but for some reason he tries to provide more reason, then he can go for semicolon. So here the proper answer will be option D. So Molly's review served as a welcome encouragement to the author is changed into Mowgli's review was a welcome encouragement to the author to set work with renewed vigor and finish the serial ahead of time. So this is the correct option because you need to separate only using comma. So when we talked about connectors, this can also become a conjunction. This is called subordinative conjunction because it can create dependency between clauses. So clauses are nothing more than fragments in your sentence. If you break it off, will it give complete meaning? If it doesn't give complete meaning, it becomes a dependent clause. If it has standalone meaning, for example, he was rich and he is well dressed. So even after I remove the coordinative conjunction and here, or sometimes I can even use a colon, it gives complete meaning. That is why option D is correct. Let's see the explanation for your understanding. If you want to go through the explanation, you can always pause the video and look at the explanation. Let's go to question number 2. The publishers, for example, in this sentence you can see comma is used as a separator. The publishers, comma, unwilling to shoulder the entire risk, comma, insisted that the author should pay half the cost of initial print run of his controversial new book. So here we are going to talk about the person, that is publisher, that is the subject here. What they are talking here, for example, if you just remove that sentence in the middle, that is from comma, the publisher's comma, if you remove that publisher, unwilling to shoulder the entire risk, it doesn't answer the question subject, who we are talking about, why, it gives you no proper meaning. That is why comma will be most of the times used as a dependent clause. So your options are, how can you rewrite the entire sentence? You can see the entire sentence is underlined. If you look at the options, few things, for example, A, B and C will look like similar if you look at the starting line. The publishers, comma, the publishers, comma, the publishers, comma. Unwilling to shoulder the entire risk. Again, the punctuation comma is given in all the three options. Then again, insisted that everything is common, author. Now it is changing. Should pay half the cost, should be paying, author pay half the cost of initial print. So these three follow a pattern. The last one is entirely different. Unwilling to shoulder the entire risk, the publishers insisted the author should pay half the cost of initial print run on his controversial new book. So here they are moving the unwilling part to the front, and then they are talking about the subject, publisher insisted the author. So I told you this again, sorry, told you this before itself. You should always begin with the subject. So option D is eliminated easily. Now you need to understand what are the difference between these three options, A, B and C. Here it is given should pay half the cost. It is similar to the sentence or the question given. Here it is changed into paying. It is in continuous now. Here author should is removed here. Author pay is given. So now you need to understand why they have used should here. Should is a conditional statement. So why they have used? Then what is the meaning of insisted? So I insist you to listen to the class. Meaning I want you to. I need you to. When I say this, that is insisting. So when I insist, how can I give them the option of should? So option C is correct because for conditional statements, you cannot insist. This itself is a condition. Insist that author pay half the cost. This is the correct sentence. Again, if you want to know the explanation, it is given in the below. You can pause the video and go through it. Third question, it is probable that the prototype cellular motor might be ready for testing around the end of next year. So underlined part is motor might be. So cellular motor, I think it ends, the sentence will end here. For this part you have to correct. Might be ready for testing around the corner. Let's look at the options. Might be ready for testing around the end of. Okay, here around is given. What is the meaning of the preposition around? You need to understand. It is not a fixed time. For example, I will start the class around 6 o'clock. So around means it gives you a buffer time. It's not exact time, but here end of next year is a fixed time. Then you cannot have a buffer. For example, end of the year is December. Around December, if I say May, it might be November or Jan. It can be before or after, right? So that is the meaning of around. About, no, here about is like you are giving detail on something. For example, talk about, you are going to specify the detail about particular thing. So toward is the direction of forward, preposition of direction. Will be ready for testing forward the end of next year. Again, here it is apostrophe S, you have to notice that. Toward the end of next year. This is meaning of apostrophe S is possessive. So next year cannot be possessive. So around is wrong, you can eliminate. About is also wrong. Toward is okay, but next year is wrong. So in the last sentence it is clear. So option D is the correct answer. You can check the explanation if you want for more clarity. Next question. China's economy continues to flourish this year. Colon is used. Industrial production grew, inflation has eased, and the trade surplus swelled. So what is the meaning of this? The underlined portion is grew, comma, inflation has eased, comma, and the trade surplus swelled. So first option is as it is, without the full stop, of course. Punctuation alone is missing. That is no change. Here it is given as is growing. So is growing is a continuous form. Okay. Inflation is easing, again continuous. Surplus is swelling. So here is also continuous, so it is in present continuous. This year they are talking about, so this is present only, it gives you a hint. Has grown, inflation eased, surplus swelled. Okay, has grown is in present perfect, inflation eased in past, has swelled is in present perfect. It is a mixture of tense, so I don't think this is the answer. So obviously we can eliminate this. Again it is same, trade surplus is swelling. The last alone is continuous. So based on the tense, we are going with option B. China's economy continues to flourish this year. That is, the colon is that is, the meaning equal to industrial production is growing, comma, inflation is easing, and the trade surplus is swelling. So everything is in continuous form. So answer B is the correct answer. Next question, a conjunction is used to connect words and sentences together. Your options are words and sentences together, words or sentences together, words and sentences, words or sentences. So now we can discuss about two types of conjunctions. And are. And is used to be called inclusive. It includes everything. Or it is a choice. You can select one in front or the after. So this is called coordinative conjunction. This is called subordinative conjunction. So now you need to understand about words and sentences. Words are nothing more than and is a word, inclusive is a word. So when it is used in a sentence, the meaning is I am using multiple words in a sentence. Sentence is nothing more than collection of words. So it cannot be words and sentences. So this is wrong. This is also wrong. Now we have to think about words or sentences together. Together means inclusive again. So words or sentences or words or sentences together. So we are not going to talk about sentences. Words or sentence is the correct answer. Next question. The recent bank scam demonstrates the extent in operational and risk management failures. So we are talking about two things, operational and management failures. There are two different things they have used and as a connector. The correction that we need to look at is demonstrates the extent in. So we are talking about preposition here. We have tense, we have different prepositions. We have to talk about prepositions first. So in can be used as a preposition of time as well as preposition of place. For example, in has a meaning of inside, within. The class ends in 10 minutes. This is correct. I can also say I will meet you in 10 minutes. Both are mentioning time. How can I use in for place? I am in the class now. So here in represents place. Excuse me. So in can be used for closed spaces. If you are inside the class, you can say I am in the class. If you are inside a theater, you can say I am in the theater. So it can be used for time as well as place. In operation, within operation, can we create that meaning? You should think. Your options doesn't have in, so obviously the sentence given is not right. So you have to check the preposition and verb. So talking about the word of, this is called preposition of direction. Of, to is considered preposition of direction. You would have heard this sentence commonly. Despite of, in spite of his failures, in spite of his success. So of gives meaning to the person or subject. About his wealth, of his nature, of his quality, you can talk about. With is very easy. I think most of you know the meaning where we can use with. I am with someone. So again inclusive. A recent bank scam demonstrating the extent of. It cannot be continuous, so that is ruled off. Demonstrates the extent with is also wrong. Demonstrates the extension, the word form is changed. Extension is when you extend something. Cable extension, insurance extension, time extension. So extent and extension are different things. So the correct answer will be option B. Demonstrates the extent of operational risk. So option B is the correct answer, people. You can check the explanations. Why should the children be afraid of French language is not clear. Now we are based on conditional statements, integrative questions. Why? The common answers are why are the children be afraid? Why the children should be afraid? Should be, why should be the children? Why should be is wrong. Whenever you say it, it sounds weird. Why should be? Why should I is okay. Why should be the children? No, be is of being. No, it is not. Why do the children be afraid? Do is used for any action. So I don't think so. Why are the children afraid? Okay, this makes a little bit of sense. Why are the children afraid of French language is not clear. Why the children should be afraid. So this question, option A is the correct answer because subject will always come forward when you are using conditional. Without conditional, why should I do it is wrong. Why I should do it is the correct way to ask it. When you say why should I do it, it is implicating, it is not a question. So based on this, we are moving the subject forward. Subject verb agreement. Why should the children be afraid of French language is not clear. That is the correct answer. Next question. Anyone interested in the use of video games can learn easier if you have access to a monitor. Underlined part is you have access. You have access. So you have to understand few things here. First, the tense is wrong. Interested is given. If is given, okay. access is in what tense, have access what tense, you have to know. If you don't know that, it is a little bit difficult. Then they have used a pronoun anyone. Anyone is an indefinite pronoun. When we look at indefinite pronoun, can we reveal about gender? Can I say anyone, any number? No. Anyone, we cannot define he or she. This is the basic understanding. You cannot try other options like if you have access. You is a wrong again because it is also a subject. This is first person. Access can be available. If access can be available to a monitor, no, we are not talking about subject here. One of them have access. No, one of them should have or has. You have to think about singular plural here. They have access. So they are interested in the use of AM. They are interested in the use of video games. Can learn easier if they have, it is okay, but anyone cannot be changed into if they have access. So option A is the correct answer, he or she. For example, anyone cannot be defined with a gender, especially we cannot push it to them. So option A is correct because we are talking about singular person, anybody. I think when we are speaking about indefinite pronoun and subject verb, I would have explained. Whenever you have indefinite pronoun, it will always talk about anyone has any idea, anyone is ready. Mostly anyone we won't ask, everyone is ready, we can say this is correct. So that is the mistake in this sentence. He or she should be used. Next question. The bridge in connecting with two cities will remain closed for security reasons. So we know that your options, bridge connects two cities. Purpose of bridge itself is connecting. So let's say connects between. No, the meaning itself is connects. So between two cities is obviously wrong. Bridge in connection to, yeah, no, to is given prepositional error. Being connected from, if from is there, from one point to another point you have to say, that is wrong. So in process of elimination you can say the bridge connecting the two cities will remain closed. That is correct. If you want explanation, you can check in the last line. You can pause the video and read the explanation. Next question. They were all shocked at his failure in the competition. They were all shocked. So how to correct this, anybody? They were all shocked at all. No, because we are already addressing the subject they, so this is eliminated. They had all shocked. No, it did not happen to them. They have all shocked by. All is given again wrong. Shocked by what? They had been all shocked on. No, nobody tased them. So no correction is required. Simple past. They were all shocked. At what? At his failure. They had all shocked by. preposition error, people. That is the reason. Question number 10, answer is E, because the tense is correct, preposition is correct. You should have underlined the preposition. Question number 11, the performance of our players was rather worse than I had expected. Here, perfect is used, past perfect to be precise, had expected. So, there were two things happening. So, here they have mentioned past in the beginning. Was is given to indicate the past. So, comparatively worst, worse, what word can we use? If I am using as, whenever you use it should be as bad as I imagined, I had expected in this case. Worse than, so if it is comparative degree, you should have gone with worse than I expected. Worse than expectation. Can I say worse than expectation? The word form is changing. It is not in past, so we cannot go with this one. This is also wrong because as is not given in the front. As bad as is a comparative. So comparatively, this is better so far. Worse than was expected. Than I expected. I have expected. I expected. So if I am introducing the subject I, was is not required. I expected itself is correct for, let's say, simple past. So comparative verser is the correct word form. This is a comparative statement. Next example. Question number 12. Why should the businessman be afraid of failure is not clear. Similar question like question number 5 or 6, I think so. Please respond in chat so that I can understand whether you understand it or not. Same follows here. It is a interrogative sentence where a question is asked. When you question somebody, should you ask why should the businessman or why the businessman should be afraid? Should be is the correct answer. So option A is correct. It is same as the last one in the 6th question or 5th question. Question number 13. In this question, you have to answer the difference between beware and aware. If you know the difference, you can easily answer the question here. I'll give you like 30 seconds so that you can go through and answer. For example, you can see if you see a nameplate in front of the gate, they would have said beware of the dog. What is the meaning of that beware? That is, why do they have the board? To create caution, to be careful. So they are not careful of all facts. That is wrong. They are not aware of all the facts. Is okay. So again, you have to check the prepositions here. For, again, preposition of direction, for your well-being, eat healthy. For gives you a reason. So beware of for all the facts is wrong. So for we can eliminate easily. They are not to be aware of all the facts. They are not to be aware of all the facts. We are not going to make them understand, or they shouldn't. It is a negative meaning. It's not. Actually, it is not. They are not to be aware doesn't make any meaning actually. They are not aware of all the facts is the correct answer. So here the word form error, beware and aware is used. Option is B. Next question. We don't know how did the thief made an escape. So if someone is online, please let me know the verb form for made and make. What are the verb forms? So the base form will be make, past is made, past participle is made. So we don't know how did the thief make an escape or made an escape. That is where you should be aware of. How did itself is past. So if you add did plus play, for any action if you add did plus that word, it will give you the past form played. For regular verbs most of the times. For example, if you say visit, it will change into visited. So why I should mention two past words? So this is present, this is going to be past. So when you add it, you are getting a past verb. So no need to double negate. So the answer is, I don't have to say did make because did is in past, this is in present. It doesn't make any meaningful sentence. Thief does make. We don't is given, no. How the thief does make an escape. How the thief does make an escape. Sentence wise, singular, this is also singular. If it is makes, as for singular, because does plus make will give you plural form makes. Even there is no word called makes, I think. So the correct option will be C. How the thief made an escape. How did the thief is not required. It is repetitive. Next question. Had you been told about your problem? Tejaswini, thank you for your answers, but I don't know which question they belong to. Please mention the question number in the comment. I hope everyone is taking the online quiz test. You can find the test link in the description box, or you can find the link to the Telegram channel where you can find the quiz link. So 15th question. Had you been told me about your problems? I would have helped you. Would have, again, it is conditional tense. Have helped you, present perfect, conditional So your options are, if you would have told me about your problem, I would have helped you. Had you have told me about your problem, had you told me about your problem. If you have told, I would have helped you. I would have helped you. What is the meaning? What is the timeline? If you can just understand that, you can answer this question very easily. So the beauty in the past is you can talk about two sentences in the past. I had traveled and I met. So this is also in past, this is also in past. So by making it perfect, I can talk about this is the first action, this is the second action. I can easily distinguish the timeline here. So I was traveling, that is the first action, then I met a girl as the correct. Even though I am using the conjunction and, the meaning will be this is the first action, this will be the second action. So if you would have told me again, it's not gonna help. Had you have told, it doesn't make any sense. Had you told me about your problems, this is okay. If you have told, if you had told is okay. If you have told is wrong. In this sentence, it won't help you. So the option is C. Tejaswini, A, I don't know for which answer, ma. Please mention the question number when you answer in the comment. Next question, he dislikes the word dislike, isn't he? This is what I was talking about in question tags. So in this sentence, we have didn't he, doesn't he, hasn't he, does he in your options. So in sentence, it is isn't he. So this meaning negation is for is, but you don't have a word is here. So what is the word here? He dislikes. Dislikes is an action, so he do. He does. So he does dislike. So the negation should be in does form. He does dislike. So does plus dislike will give you dislikes. Singular plural form, people, nothing more than that. So I do, we do, they do, but he, she, it does. So for that we are using the he dislikes singular. So it automatically implies does is used because it is an action. He doesn't, if it is given he doesn't dislike, then we can go with does he. He doesn't dislike the word dislike. Does he? Now we are questioning it. So since here the word here used is doesn't, automatically it is not used, but it implies by the plural form, singular form, does is used. So here it should be doesn't he. The last question of the day. Oh, sorry, it's time, people. So if you have any queries, please watch the video again. If you have any more doubts, please mention it in the comment section so that I can respond to your comments. Thank you for your participation, people. Please take your test. Please ask your friends to take the test as well. Even if they think they are good at it, practice will help them a lot. Sonam, B, doesn't he? Yes, Sonam, that is the correct answer. So if you have a doubt or any other clarification you need, please drop it in the comment section. So thank you, people. I'm Dinesh Parthaban. 16B. Thank you, Sonam, for your response.